Okay. So we'll wait for Jeremy to get back here. I'll just start going here. So we're going to begin our third session of our Archon campaign, right where we left off, which was the same night in which the cadre of Archons assaulted the rogue Tremere Chantry. And in so much, we're able to get rid of a potential red lister that was asked as a favor by the Lord Ronwall to loosen. You all were given the instructions in the location of the Boston Chantry and asked to deliver the stolen goods or thaumaturgical books back to the Boston Chantry, and Rook was going to meet you on location. Given that we were missing Dan for this evening, we're just going to assume that he gets a little lost in traffic and his sire recalls him for personal reasons. And we'll extend that through what will happen next as the coterie leaves for Providence. So we're going to begin with this again the same evening. The moon is in a waning part of the sky. Most of the evening has passed. The stars are even beginning to fade away as the light creeps in and dawn starts to approach. You all have at least a few hours, plenty enough time to get to the Chantry, drop stuff off, and then get back to your designated havens or wherever you'd like to be. We'll begin the game itself with the first of the coterie. We'll say Rufus and his, I believe, taxi, or I can't remember. I think he actually managed to have a car at that point. Arrives.
Yeah. Rufus can totally drive there.
Arrive at the Boston Chantry. It's part of the university. It's just kind of tucked back and away. Its presence, or at least the place where you've been told to drop off, seems to be more of a meeting place rather than the Chantry itself.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, within the next few moments, the others will arrive, and we'll say everyone will get a kind of a mass text since Arthur kind of started that trend with Damien saying that his sires recalled him back, and he's already spoken to Lucen, so it's everyone knows what's going on. But
yeah, I believe Damien was actually transporting our captive as well.
was it really? I totally forgot about
I
that.
thought I wasn't. It wasn't clear.
It wasn't clear who was doing it, but he seemed pretty keen on staying in control of that. So.
We'll say, for the sake of argument, as much as he was real keen on having that happen, the rest of the coterie just talked him out of it, or ended up in Rufus's car just for the sake of expediency.
Okay.
Make a big thing out of that. That's the unfortunate advantage of United screwing you out of getting back on time, unfortunately. So we'll say just in Rufus's car for the sake of expediency. And again, everybody will show up within a few moments of each other if anyone's interested in waiting. Otherwise, you basically, the group gets a staff office that you're supposed to head to drop off the information.
Okay.
Okay, well, I assume everyone either waits or doesn't wait, and they just head on in. The group heads into the staffing office.
Well, make sure everyone's there first.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, I'll head in with. Are we gonna leave the prisoner in the car?
I would say we should bring her in with us.
Okay, let's do it.
So who wants to do it?
Arthur does not volunteer.
Well, I'll go in. I'm happy to carry the things in to the drop location.
Well, I thought Melissa had the books. Melissa would just give Rufus the books and take care of, and grab our prisoner. Yeah, since Damien's not here.
Yeah.
I'll be nice, and Melissa will be nice and gentle.
Well, it's the Chantry is part of the philosophy department, so it doesn't get a lot of traffic, especially that late at night. Uh, as you grab the books and your captive, Melissa just hoists them up and just kind of carries them in. There
Yeah.
isn't a lot of foot traffic. It's a lot of empty white hallways with bulletin boards and the occasional desk.
Yeah. Before
Echoing
we actually
garages.
enter the building, kind of like when I'm taking possession of the books, I'd like to do a little spirits touch on them, just while I have the opportunity before I go in somewhere that might be warded.
If I see
Okay.
him doing that, I will purposely not watch with Auspex.
Okay. So are you just picking any old book up and touching it, or just touching all the books? How you looking them on?
The whole stack, just
Ah,
Right. So
So
you
basic.
start touching the thaumaturgical books, and uh, they it's a twofold effect. You don't necessarily need to roll for it.
Okay.
The topmost effect is kind of a little bit like licking a battery. The energy that is in the words and in the rituals has a residual psychic effect. So as Rufus kind of touches them, they kind of jolt, and he's likely experienced that latter part of Auspex, which is or Spirit's touch, which is where he sees some of the people who've transcribed the rituals, some of the mental states that they were in. There's a lot of just focus and concentration when it comes to what's being written in the books. There isn't a lot of emotion poured into it besides discipline and
Hmm.
clarity, perhaps. But you get some mental images of the people who have done it, and perhaps some of the motivation for studying some of the rituals or writing the rituals in the book. You probably see authors or who you believe to be the authors more consistently through those images. But that's probably a different psychic experience than he's experienced from other even charged items that he's touched, like perhaps from a murder weapon or something of that nature. That these books have a real psychic impression outside of them.
Okay. Yeah, he was hoping for something related to their theft, but you know.
Yeah, that's the theft itself, the books wouldn't necessarily see that as an overly traumatic event, as nothing really happened to
Yep.
the books themselves. They're just kind of thrown into a bag. Uh, but you would certainly see some of the more recent psychic impressions would be from that Thaddeus individual looking over it and whatnot. Maybe he would have seen perhaps the gargoyle throwing the book in like a bag. That might have been enough of a psychic
Yep.
impression for something like that to happen, but probably nothing overly worthwhile. Just the
Well,
image of it.
fair enough. So it's worth a try.
No, so you gather up the books. Do you just kind of got them in like a little like stack basically? Put them in a little chest thing, or how did you want to deal with that exactly?
Well, I don't know that we have. I haven't really prepared to carry them, so they're probably just in the stack.
Okay. So there's like just a mental image of the four of you heading in. Melissa kind of, somewhat dead arm carrying Thaddeus with the half.
No, 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 no. He's dead. We had one of his apprentices.
Oh, that's
I
right. It was his
guess.
apprentice. That's right. It was.
Yeah, it was.
Thaddeus.
Thaddeus is dead. Come
So
on.
Thaddeus is right. That's
It
right.
was
I
his
apologize.
youngest apprentice.
Yeah.
So you have the youngest apprentice. So you're just dead arming her through.
No, no, I'm being gentle. Again, I'm being gentle.
Well, it's not so much about being gentle. She's a corpse that's in torpor, so it's not so much about being careful. It's just
No,
the
no,
fact
no,
that
she's not in
let me
torpor.
finish. Let me finish. The fact that you're carrying in a dead corpse with you into the hallways is just more of the concern. But the hallways themselves and the area is pretty devoid of traffic. So as you guys get to pull up and unload and move through, you get the impression that's probably why they picked it, is most of the campus is much further away. Uh, the four of you head in. Again, it's the white hallways, a lot of white stone with bulletin boards and kind of a bland marble floor, lots of fluorescent lights flickering and draining any kind of real life or color out of the area, but illuminates everything rather cheaply. And the four move down this hallway and eventually get into the offices for the head of philosophy. And you guys hit on in there. And Lord Roland is waiting in there. It's just like a little entryway with your kind of stereotypical cubicle secretarial spot with a couple waiting chairs and an end table with outdated magazines. And Lord Roland is just sitting there, as if waiting for admissions or waiting to speak to a counselor. And he stands as the four of you enter. How did it go?
We were unfortunately unable to find your missing pupil.
The termination, however, did go extremely well. None of us died.
Well, that's good.
We do. We have returned the books that were stolen, and we also seem to have one of the children of this man that we're bringing to you.
She seems to not understand the wrong that her sire was doing. Perhaps with the right education, she
may
could.
prove only time will tell. But I thank you, Lady and Lord Archons, for doing this for Clan Shamir. He gestures with his cane. If you would be as kind to set the books just simply there, I will have someone recover them for me.
Have you heard word? Have you heard word from the Archon, the Archimere Archon who's missing?
Yes, Octavius. Yes, I have. I'm actually going to be meeting with him within the hour here, if you wish to remain and meet with him. I believe his well-being has been communicated to Lucen that he has been found, but will be arriving here.
Excellent. He's well then.
He is alive. From what I've spoken with him, he has been through quite the ordeal. But,
I see.
Yes, we have good concern. As you may know, most of the Primogen of Boston were rather concerned about the Sabbat encroaching. I believe Octavius has further proof of this.
Well, that would be worth hearing. I'm willing to wait if you don't mind.
No, unfortunately, I have no refreshments or manner of entertainment here for us. We must just simply wait.
That will be fine. I think his information is worth the inconvenience. And Rufus will put the books down where indicated.
Excellent.
Melissa will speak up. I would like to wait too. In the meantime, I would like to ask to wander the campus a little, if you don't mind. It's quite lovely.
Yes. By all means, you have my permission. Please.
That wasn't me there, was it? That loud noise?
No, that was me.
Okay.
Someone really loud drove past my house.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Gotcha.
Alright, so yeah, Melissa can wander around the campus. Once you get closer to the campus proper, there's a lot more nighttime activity, night classes, students going about their own personal business or research or studying through the libraries and whatnot, or going to work. So there's a reasonable amount of traffic here. Does Melissa want to do anything in particular?
Well, hunting.
Okay. Let's see. I want to say hunting. it's like a charisma or manipulation. Yeah, I'll just do that for right now. Why don't you give me a charisma plus a subterfuge? That sounds probably as good as anything right now.
Be right back.
Okay.
It would have been listed here.
Uh-oh.
What
She's
happened?
gone.
Oh no!
She's gone.
We've lost her already.
The technology is not working out so good tonight. This night.
No, it is not. What is
Yeah.
bringing us together is only tearing us apart.
They say technology, you're 100% more efficient, but you have 300% more work.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. That is definitely what's happening tonight. Jeremy, are you in there, brother?
He said he was going to go someplace, didn't he?
Oh, I didn't even catch that, so thank
He
you.
said, I'll be right back.
Oh, that's right. Now I remember that. Thank you. Well, for the people who are still here, Lord Roland is surprisingly good at small talk. He'll just try to speak to you both or all there about the characters' backgrounds, relationships with their sires, anything that'd be willing to share an idle conversation. He seems pleasant. He would share in kind that he's excited about going to Manhattan. He's always wanted to study the ley lines and the power energies that culminate on that island. And after conquering the puzzle that was the Boston ley lines, he thinks he's ready for it.
Natalia would try and find out more about why they're moving the chantry if he was willing to share that kind of information.
All right, go ahead and ask him. Right? Do you guys have any occult?
Yes.
No, I don't think so.
So Rufus
I have-
understood some of the stuff that he was talking about, ley lines and whatnot, and so did Arthur.
I have all the occult. I have 4.
Yeah. So go ahead, and just to catch you back up real quick, Jeremy. Lord Roland was making small talk and just asking about everyone's backgrounds, yada yada yada. You know, what do you know? What are you willing to share? You know, about your sires and who you are. And he was willing to kind of share a little bit in turn, which was that he was excited to go to Manhattan because the ley lines and the power that's underneath Manhattan Island is so immense that he's curious as far as its source and its cause, and he was confident after conquering the puzzle that is the Boston ley lines convergence that he's ready to take on the challenge of Manhattan. That's a pretty candid conversation about occult background for a Tremere, but you did just hunt down one of their potential red listers, so you might be feeling a little trusty.
I will engage him in small talk that the player has no idea what's going on, but Arthur would be able to articulate it quite well.
Okay, so you guys were doing that. I think we had a particular role-playing question in mind. What was Natalia going to ask him? What was Natalia going to ask him?
Oh, I'm sorry. She was really just asking, trying to get an impression of, is that why the chantry was being moved? Like why everybody was moving to New York?
Is that what she asked him? So is that? Go ahead and we'll drop in the
Yes.
scene. I know we're out of
Okay.
So.
I had great curiosity after all the work you did here in Boston to establish the Boston Chantry. Why the move? Is it really based all upon research?
No, actually. It's really about safety. After the Camarilla was able to, it's never been safe enough for a large amount of Camarilla to reside there without heating up conflict. now that the Sabbat, or at least at the gates, it is a lot safer, and in fact might improve the safety of Manhattan if a large contingent of Tremere moved there, and that's the intention.
See, that does sounds like a good defensive position.
It makes us quite invaluable. Boston has always been a little difficult for us, and out of game, Melissa knows why with her Camarilla lore. Costas was given Boston as a check against the Tremere, who were the largest power base in North America of the Camarilla, and because they controlled Boston because they were so obsessed over it. The inner circle gave Boston to Costas as his. It's just his domain, period. No one else can take it, as a way to counterbalance that power check.
And I will strike down upon
And
thee.
great vengeance, furious anger, those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers.
You'll know that my name is the Lord as I lay my vengeance upon thee.
So he kind of just goes in that general description of it. Yeah, it's never been particularly hospitable for our kind here, and so there are a great many of opportunity in Manhattan.
I see.
So you guys will go about doing some more idle chit chat, and eventually, what you're assuming to be Octavius just kind of walks in the door. Octavius is a man in his late 50s. He has huge Victorian mutton chops come down into his side, and his dress would be that of a Victorian gentleman if it didn't look like he had been traipsing through muck and mire. He doesn't have shoes, he's barefoot, and it looks like he's been in a couple fights. There's like a bullet hole, but his flesh has been healed. And he comes in and is like, "Oh, my deepest pardons for my appearance. I apologize, Lord Cornwall, and I do believe these are my peers, so I apologize for my disheveled manner." And he closes the door behind him.
Nonsense, you look like the belle of the ball.
Lord Roland will stand. It's quite all right, Lord Archon. Just why don't you take a moment to collect yourself, and then please share the information with me and your Archons so that you may pass it along to your Vesticon. And he'll sit for a moment, and you guys will make some idle chit chat. Octavius will ask about the coordination, how it went. Will apologize again for rudely being absent for your prized moment. He's very deferential and polite. And after that initial brief conversation, he will begin his story. I was assisting some young ones in the collection of our library, and in the process of doing so, the Chantry was attacked by a great number of kindred. I would have to rumor at least 20, maybe 25. They were unskilled. They were what you would call the shock troops, I believe. Shovelheads, I've heard the term many times before. I do not believe they were particularly skilled, but large numbers do overwhelm. And given that I was the only skilled individual there, the neonates did not stand a chance. I do apologize, Lord Rowan. I did witness your child die. My condolences.
I look visibly unhappy when he says all that about the shovelheads.
Okay. Lord Rowan will kind of take a quiet moment, as if somehow caring, but it does look like it's a practiced effect. And he kind of takes a moment and goes, "Please continue, Octavius." And he goes, "Very well. They had assistance from, it seemed, an elder of our kind. He was more concerned with choice books, while the others seemed to be cannon fodder for his assault. They had no rhyme or reason or real intention or direction, which is why I thought it best that after this individual, his gargoyles, managed to get what he required, and I managed to survive this encounter so far, they retreated, and I felt it prudent to make haste after them. I tracked these young ones, these young Sabbat, I assume, out to the riverbed, out to the harbor itself, and they are taking a serendipitous route to avoid being tracked, but I am skilled in tracking such individuals and managed to find their location. They are no longer there. They have left the city proper, but it does seem that they regrouped with even a larger contingent of these shock troops and were able to leave. I got the impression there are going to be more reported murders or such from this evening that we do not know yet. Lord Orwell is going to take that all in and kind of look to the rest of you to see if you had any questions, just being polite.
This is unfortunate news. It seems the city needs soldiers, and we are slated to leave.
Against the Sabbat, no less.
While I'm being quiet. I want to use aura perception to see if I see to see if I see anything that doesn't match up to what he says.
Okay.
You're checking him for deception?
Of course.
Yeah, I think so. Feel free to try.
I should have thought of that.
I'm Ventru. Yes. Woohoo.
Wow, look at that.
Oof.
Nice.
So, all right. Well, you definitely know he's a vampire, for sure. His emotional states. I think you get 2 or 3 with that. I can't even remember. Do you remember?
She got 3.
3? Is it 3?
I got 3. Actually, there's 2 10s.
2 10s and an 8. That's 3 successes.
Can distinguish the main color. Can recognize the color patterns. Okay. So what I would say is, he is orange, which is afraid. He's doing a pretty good job of hiding how scared he is. I guess he's not underestimating how much spot he saw, and he's a little light green, which is distrustful. That one's harder to discern. Those seem to be what's swimming around the most right now.
I will not do a aura perception on him, but when I see the telltale signs of somebody focusing a little bit harder, if I do in fact see that, I will watch the Venture's reaction rather than his.
Okay, feel free to roll to find out Melissa's emotional state.
I have perception plus alertness at 8, so that was pretty good.
Well,
2 or 3
nice.
successes.
So how much that is that?
Well, Jeremy got what? That's 2 9s and a 1?
Yep, as well as a 7 and a 6, so yeah.
Did the difficulty change? I think it's still 8, isn't it?
Well, I'm watching her, not him. I'm not checking her. I'm not checking her aura. I'm like checking her.
What?
Like I'm watching her reaction to him more than I'm watching him.
Oh, you mean heightened senses?
No, I mean,
No.
what would you say? That's at least a 9 and maybe like a 7. What would you say, Grace? What would you say Melissa's general reaction to that information was? And I don't think Grace.
She hasn't made it. She hasn't come to a consensus.
Okay, so she looks a
Yeah.
little perplexed right now, is what I'd
Yeah.
say.
Okay. I will note that and say nothing.
Alright. So Lord Ornwall will say, well, thank you, Octavius. I believe I need to speak with you further about some clan matters, but that I will not hold him for you all too long. I assume you do not have your own transportation back, Octavius, and Octavius kind of nods in agreement. If you would just
Is
give
it-
us a few moments to speak about clan matters, I will and promise to make it brief. And,
There is one thing I would like to add before we leave.
Yes, by all means.
The there were 2 gargoyles under the command of this rogue Tremere Thaddeus, who has been dispatched. They are unaccounted for at this time. One fled the scene, the other was not seen. It was not visible to us.
I see. Well, thank you for illuminating me on this detail. We will double our efforts. We can't have them running around. Again,
No.
if you would be as kind to give us just a moment, I will not keep you long. Octavius says, if you would be as kind to do so, I would appreciate humoring. As everyone can, I assume, humors the Tremere. True to their word, they only speak for a few minutes, and then Octavius comes out. I thank you again for your patience. Please, I will go with whoever has room to spare.
Lance, bring the car around. We'll give him a ride.
Very well. And so y'all head on back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
So-
I drop off Octavius wherever he needs to go.
Okay. Octavius is heading this back to the same place you're heading back to, unless you're
Oh.
heading back to the Boston Hyatt.
I'm definitely heading back to Haven, yeah.
Okay. So no, you're all heading back to the same spot. So you head back to the Boston Hyatt Harbor. It again is closed for the dentist convention, allowing you guys to have free reign over the entire hotel. As you enter, do you guys do anything in particular? Do you seek anyone out, or you guys kind of just go to your assigned places? Octavius is going to attempt to find where Lucen is.
If they have room service that is not Gould, I'm going to have myself a snack, but that's about it.
Okay, fair enough. You can have 2 blood easily with that without having to roll. It's fine. You
Okay.
don't dominate. You're like, whatever. This didn't happen. So Arthur and Lance are going to go off. What about the rest of y'all? Octavius is going to go try to find Lucen.
I'd join him and see. I'd like to hear her reaction to his story,
Okay.
and just give her any details she may want around what we accomplished this evening.
Okay.
Well, since Rufus is still here, Melissa will try to will want to talk. We'll talk to whoever's the one that's left.
Okay.
I think that is Rufus, actually. What is Rufus doing? Unless he's going...
Yeah.
He was. He kind of watches the group split up, and doesn't seem like he has a plan as of yet. So, Melissa wants to talk. He's more than happy to engage.
Okay. We'll do that scene real briefly as Octavius and Natalia go off to try to find Lucen. They'll find Rook pretty fast to lead them off to her. You two have the lobby to yourselves. Just Rufus and Melissa. There's no one at the front desk at all.
Just so which one goes first? Which scene goes first?
You guys. There's Natalia, Octavius, and eventually Rook as they're like walking off. Walks up to them and they talk very briefly and head off in a certain direction. Arthur and Lance, not Jeremy and Arthur, head out to his room to get some room service. So it's just you two in a very, very nice, elegant marble entryway and lobby.
So Rufus. Now there not only is there a city that we need to clear. She does this.
Mm-hmm.
There's also the possibility of a Sabat being around one day. What a night. Is there anything in particular you would prefer? It just in case
Uh,
In case the Sabbat thing is more, 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 more important.
it is unfortunately not up to us as to what is more important in this matter. I do not look forward to our duties in Providence. I'll make no secret of my disagreement with that decision, but that decision has been made.
This also kind of looks sort of regretful. Well, oh, you feel this? You feel the same way as I do then?
I feel that there were some very careless and poorly raised childer who stepped well beyond the line of acceptable behavior. I feel there was a prince who was remiss in punishing them as well as in reining them in beforehand. And I feel there's an entire city that now pays for those few mistakes.
Then, then it. But you said you were going. What do you where and from our previous encounter with Thaddeus, you're the best. You're the best among us at fighting. What do you want to do then?
Um, I don't know that I'm the best. That, but that is what I do. Uh, if I am forced to fight, I prefer that it will be one who is actually guilty of the offense and not an unknowing childer running around Providence. I have no desire to squander such untested potential, to crush them before they have a chance to prove themselves.
Hmm. So,
The prince and this Prospero, if someone must die by my hand, it will be them.
hmm, hmm. I guess they're all yours. I guess they're all yours. I just wanted to talk. It's because that if we want to have hope of doing it quietly, we need to be coordinated. Um, we need to be coordinated. So, let's just say that once again, from our, from our skirmish with Thaddeus earlier, it taught me a lot, which I wasn't ready for. I wasn't ready for field work, and it is.
I've uh, I've fought before, obviously, and teamwork in the battlefield is something that comes with time.
All right, but you and I both know we're not going. It's not quite a battlefield. It's more like being ordered a hit.
Well then, perhaps some training is in order.
Like we don't have time. Like next next evening we have to go. Nah, we don't have time. Hmm.
Then what do you propose?
I'm thinking of. I think I'm thinking of using explosives, but since you have the connection for guns, so I want to ask, are you able to get any other character? Hold on.
I believe we still have some very high caliber weaponry that we have yet to discharge.
Not that. I want some. I I want some. I want some high velocity bullets.
Uh, well, I have only one connection in the Boston area right now, and I feel that if I overuse that connection, it may dry up.
Yes. It's nothing. I was thinking explosive, but it's not illegal at all. Don't worry.
I'm not worried about the legality of it. Uh, why don't you send me a list, and I will make some calls in the morning. I'll see what I can do.
Uh, okay. So other character, I want. How do you want me to give it to you?
He wants you to tell him what you want.
Ooh, okay.
You know, what kind of weapon do you want to fire these rounds from?
It's not a matter of weapon. I want. You see the type of explosive I want to use is tannerite, and it only it's an explosive that will only explode only if shot by a high velocity bullet. Dropping, being
Alright.
dropped, being set on fire
Sure.
won't make it explode.
So let's
And
let's
not
move forward.
shotguns.
Okay, let's move forward, Grace, because
Yeah.
I think this is a pretty basic scene, and we're already chewing up a lot of time. So
All
if you
right.
want to send him, if you want to send him something as far as a list, as far as what you're looking for, we can talk about that. I guess in a second, because you want to use his. You're trying to have Grace use the contact that he just met in Boston. Is that what you're trying to do? Is that what's happening?
You know. Yeah,
Okay. All right. So I think we got that
cause,
part.
cause he
So
really
we're gonna
put together his
right.
guns.
So I think we got that part. We're gonna move forward then.
Yep.
We can talk more about that in a second. So the so you, Natalia Octavius head to find Lucent with Rook, and after a few moments, they will come back to the Queen Mary conference room, and as they enter it, Lucent is talking to a man, or you more with a vampire, as he has majesty on. He is about 5'1", slightly portly. He's wearing loose-fitting business attire, very casual, no tie. He is very striking in his appearance. He's not a very attractive man, but he has a very solid features, this kind of very distinguished gentleman, this aged patriarch kind of effect to his appearance, and he has an appearance of 6. He has this kind of very strong kind of male presence to him, and he seems to be dressing down Lucid, and Lucid and them are talking to each other. And as you enter, they don't slow down. They don't really acknowledge y'all entering, and Rook will just kind of gesture to the Octavius and Natalia just away and just kind of gesture. That's Servius. He showed up about an hour ago.
I'm sorry, out of character, who's Servius?
That's Lucin's sire. That would be
Okay.
the inner circle member, Venture inner circle member.
Yikes.
I will bow to him a little bit in Edwardian England fashion.
He, like I said, he doesn't register y'all at all. He seems very intent, and he's talking in Latin. So I don't know if anyone speaks Latin out of y'all.
No.
I have academic 6. I probably understand Latin.
Yeah, you actually have the best idea of what he's actually saying. He is a combination of furious that she hasn't solved this problem yet, and terrified as far as what it can mean. Uh, there's already a large contingent of Inquisition coming to Boston, and it's going to come to Boston and it's going to head to Providence. And while she's there, she needs to be as careful as possible, but to not tell the rest of the Archons that they're coming. All right, that it's basically you're supposed to get in, get it cleared, do it as quietly as possible, and get back out. And you can tell when he's like telling her to do this that she's containing frustration and anger. Because he's basically telling her, yeah, go do all this impossible thing and do it as quietly as possible, and then don't get caught and do it fast as possibly can.
I will mentally send to Lance that we're going to need more guns and bigger guns.
Okay.
Okay.
He will finish within a few moments, and then notice that there's some individuals waiting, and will continue speaking in Latin. Ask Lucin, these are the Archons, and she'll say, oh, these are some of them, and he'll kind of turn and goes, I am pleased to meet you all. He'll say that in Italian, probably.
Blank
Or
stare.
German. Or German, maybe.
No, it'd be Italian.
Yeah, he gets a blank stare from Arthur on that one, but I nod slowly anyway.
Okay.
I imagine I get the gist of what he's trying to say.
Some of it, yeah, it's a little lost, but it's like he'll just kind of nod, and he'll just turn loose and it's like, it's fine. I'll go. Just get this done. I'm going to be staying in Boston proper to monitor this upcoming issue, report back immediately, and he kind of leaves really fast. Like I assume everyone parts for him. He does not give a rat's ass about anybody's personal space. He just kind of goes for the door. But I assume everyone just kind of gets out of his way.
I get out of his way because, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lucin looks a little frustrated, and she'll kind of look at you all and kind of gesture you all to kind of come in, and she'll kind of gesture for you to sit. And she goes, how did it go?
We definitely killed Thaddeus.
We returned the books to the chantry, and we also brought back of one of Thaddeus's children to them.
All right. Octavius kind of goes into the same story that you guys heard before. Her reaction to it is fairly placid. Just doesn't seem to have any real reaction. She seemed to have more of a reaction from her sire than she did from that information. She goes, very well. Well, I'm glad you are safe, Octavius. Take the rest of this evening to recuperate, and we'll speak more tomorrow. I believe the information we'll be receiving from one of your clan mates. Is that correct, Natalia? Warwick will be coming here shortly. Once we have that information, we'll be heading out. So you'll have this evening. Yeah. Does anyone have anything they need to speak to me about, or?
Well, we really wanted you to hear about Octavius's evening and about the results of ours before we retired for the evening.
Well, good. Thank you for that. But then, by all means, please retire for the evening. I will speak with you all more tomorrow. The arrangements for our travel to Providence have been finalized. Unless you have your own means for transportation, there will be private jets that will be taking us there. They'll be at the ready for whenever we want to leave. So we'll be awaiting this Warwick for this information. If there is nothing else, then please have a pleasant remainder of your evening.
I will. Does it seem like she wants me to wait around for Warwick since he's a Noth?
No, she's just implying whenever the information comes is all.
Oh, okay. All right. Then I head out. Then I leave her in peace. Seems like she's had a fun evening already.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, she's normally pretty cold and quiet, but her sigh was probably the first real consternation you've ever seen on her face. She will leave the conference room pretty quickly and retire to her floor, as it were. Does everyone pretty much head back to their suites, get some room service, as it were?
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
I wanted to
Good
ask.
evening, Arthur. I'm going to retire for the evening.
Are you actually staying in the hotel this time, Natalia?
I probably would have been staying wherever I was staying before. I don't know that I would have changed that.
Okay, you just go back to stay with Warwick then. It's not,
Right.
it's not terribly hard.
Right.
Okay. So that night will go by, unless there's anything else particular. Everyone can burn blood. And
I just going to.
Rufus to give me his roll.
Yep.
So it's a willpower roll of what, 8+, right? And you just need to get a success, not have problems. Is that do I remember that correctly?
Yeah, I have problems if I get 0 successes and extra problems if I botch.
Okay. So yeah, in this particular case, you managed to get through the night without too much issue. You don't suffer from your nightmares from this evening. Go ahead. You're got early riser, so what would you like to do with your time previous to everyone else getting up?
He's feeling, I think, pretty weak due to, the efforts last night, so he's going to go hunting.
Okay.
So.
Right. Not there either. Why don't you go ahead and just give me a charisma? How is he going about his hunting?
I think nothing special. He's just gonna go. I think look for some easy drunk targets that he can take advantage of, and then leave alive at the end of the night.
Okay. Why don't are you just gonna kind of like sneak up behind them? You're not really talking to them. You're just like, ha. No. Yeah.
I think he'll probably use a little charisma, try and maybe,
You're doing a little Mackinac. All right, so go ahead and give me a charisma plus subterfuge. Or empathy, I guess, would rather work too.
We got same number. There we go. Damn.
Oh no.
Well, luckily you're hunting for slightly inebriated co-eds on a college campus, so it's not terribly hard.
Yeah. Lots of ones, but hopefully we.
Yeah, you can get 2 blood back for the hunting.
Okay.
If you succeed, you get 2 each time now, so you can get 2 without any trouble. Would you like to do more than that, or are you good?
Yes, actually, I would like to do more than that.
Go for it again. It's just an hour each, basically.
Okay. Let's see. Do I have to clear that for it to change? Looks like.
I think you can double it up, but it's just easier if you clear it. Anyone else want to do some hunting? We'll just do those rolls. Go for it.
Yeah, I will.
I will too.
Okay, if you're actually hunting, yeah. You do have potentially, like, anyone with some decent dominate could probably just dominate the hotel staff and have some free food.
Okay.
Again with Melissa.
It's true.
How will she tell? How will
Yeah,
she
that's-
tell?
Yeah, she's probably humped, being a venture and all. But the other two,
I'd probably just snack on the hotel staff if that would work.
yeah.
Seeing as I get
clear-
up late and all.
It's clear enough that almost seems to be in by design for the shrewdest, that you could feed on the staff without too much interruption. So if you do that, and you both have forgetful mind, I know you have forgetful mind as Natalia, right?
Really?
No, I don't believe so. I have presence, but I don't have dominate.
Okay.
Yeah,
Give me. Though what I was saying is you would need dominate just to be able to snack and then forget. Go ahead and give me a roll like Rufus is doing to just. It'll be easier target number, but you still need to roll if you're doing charisma. So if someone's got dominate, they just for these guys for the hotel staff.
Were we doing charisma subterfuge? Did you say?
Yep, or empathy. I imagine it's subterfuge for her. That's her better stat.
Yeah.
So what roles do I do?
I
would have to go. I would have to go out and go to a campus as well.
Sure, exactly. And yours is a slightly higher difficulty number.
So what do I roll?
Charisma plus subterfuge or empathy, whichever's better. Sounds good. What did you get, Carla?
Empathy.
If the difficulty's a 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
8. No, 8.
Yeah, you can easily get the 2. They've simplified the hunting now, so each roll is basically every time you succeed, you get 2 blood.
Okay.
I'm going to be a true bastard, and I'm going to go out to a campus bar, and I'm going to find a forlorn-looking young co-ed that looks like she may have just suffered some personal tragedy in her life, and I'm going to play the understanding father and/or professor figure and prey upon the young lady's insecurities with a charisma plus empathy roll, if you will allow it.
Yeah, you can easily. Manipulation would also work, or even let you use. It's a little bit more manipulation plus empathy, strangely enough.
I can still do that.
Do I get it?
Yes, you get 2 blood.
Okay.
I got 6, 5, 8, 7, 2, so at least 2 successes, I'd imagine.
Yeah, you get the 2 blood without any issue.
Okay. I will charm her back to whatever dark corner that she wants to go to and then make her forget.
Alright, easy enough.
Oh, so you have both. Nice.
Alright, so Seth, he would have gotten another feeding roll without any issues. You get another 2 blood if you'd like.
Oh.
Yep.
I only got one person, right? I use forgetful mind and made it just seem like we talked.
Okay, that's good. All right. So, what is everyone doing with their initial part of their evening? Because that seems to be free at the moment.
Going through my regular evening routine of polishing my sword and making sure it's sharp, and then discussing with Lance our itinerary for when we go to Boston.
Melissa distinctly recalls one of the lictors has access to explosives, I guess. Which one? Was it Rook?
Rook was one of the Archons, not one of the lictors.
Okay. Well, which one has access to explosives?
That would be Rook.
Okay, then I'm just going to ask Rook for the separated ingredients of tannerite. Should I email? Should I just link the info to you?
Yeah, yeah, because I'll see how much or
Oh.
what this stuff is about here.
It's also basically in Hunters Hunted that I sent you before.
Yeah, that's probably not full of a bunch of bullshit at all.
Well, at least we can try to make it look like this. Hunter suddenly got them all or something.
Hunters
So-
usually don't have access to explosives. I know the book likes to play everyone up as some sort of homemade terrorist, but if hunters start blowing stuff up, they'll get the federal government on them so fast.
Not really. Like I went to this website. Yeah, it's only illegal in one state, which is not the one we're in right
Yeah,
now.
it's really more about intent, Grace. Explosions is like another level of intent compared to even owning a gun or using a gun. If
blowing-
hunters use blowing stuff up, it might seem makes a lot of great cinematic sense, but yeah, it gets you in a lot of trouble fast.
And blowing stuff up is illegal in all the states.
Nope, you can shoot at the targets and make it explode, no problem.
Well, but I thought we were trying to do this as quietly as possible, and explosions are not quiet.
Yeah,
right?
but we have no time. We have no time.
Yes, but we're supposed to be doing this under the radar, and explosions are not under the radar.
It's just there as a backup plan, you know.
Sure.
You know,
Oh, I will begin doing one other thing. I will be contacting my sire to see if she has any contacts in the church.
See if there's any contacts in the church, and you're trying to find out.
When I do contact her, I will let her know that I overheard Lucine's sire talking about the Inquisition coming in force to Boston, and I will suggest to her that it may be in some of our best interest to throw some of the more visible targets their way, maybe through anonymous information drops or anything of that nature. If we have any contacts in the church, that could do it without tracing it back to us.
Okay. You probably have some way of communicating that to her. She's probably so involved in her Stepford reality that it's probably hard to get her directly contacted. But you have a way of basically getting a message to her and having her contact you back with some reliability.
Okay. Probably telepathic contact or something of that nature. I don't know what the range is on telepathy. I don't think it's across the continent, though, so...
No, not without, like, Auspex 8 or 9. If you had that, you could probably do Gawker Scotland. Probably not.
I'll send her a carrier pigeon.
There you go. There you go.
oh, that's slow, man.
Mm.
It might as well work down the list that Arthur gave us before.
So,
That will be faster.
Natalia will, since she's staying with Warwick will get the information together within the next night pretty early and ask would you like an escort to the Hyatt?
I'd love one. Thank you. If you'd like to join me.
So you and Goblin and Warwick make your way to the Hyatt to speak with Lucen. What is the rest of y'all doing after you do your hunting?
Rufus is gonna do some research on Providence. There's a nice map center in Boston that collects antique maps. So he's gonna try and look up and see what used to be at the sites of all this mischief.
Okay, go ahead and give me a intelligence plus investigation or perception plus investigation, whatever is better.
Sure.
Hey, sorry about that. I gotta take the puppy. I'll be right back.
So Melissa's working with Rook to get her explosive on, so that's what's happening. He's got enough contacts to, I mean, especially if it's easy to get, he'll just send one of
It's
his
just like
people out
one
to get it.
website and that's it.
Yeah, it's just more like I don't know if you want to be in the proximity to shoot any explosives. I think that idea.
Oh no, it's not.
Sounds
Oh
like a
no,
bad
we need.
idea.
Oh no, it doesn't come finished. It doesn't come finished. So
No, I understand it's not finished. I'm just saying being in the same area as the explosives, being the trigger as you pulling the trigger, defeats some of the purpose of explosives being a far away effect. But I think I understand what you guys are getting at.
well, it's so that
It's kind of
it's
like using
I.
a gun up close. It's not a good idea, right? It defeats the purpose of having a ranged weapon, right? That's kind of what I'm saying. Like you
Oh,
have to shoot
I.
the explosives for it to go off, but it doesn't matter. So you're talking with Rook to get that stuff together. What
How
is
long would
Arthur
that
doing?
take? How long would that take?
Just a few moments. What is
Okay,
Arthur doing?
then.
What's Arthur doing? Hang on. What is Arthur doing?
Arthur is, at this point, after he has made sure that he has his weapons in check and he has contacted his sire, is going to pretty much go from room to room if the other Archons are staying in the same hotel, and he's going to give them the same information that he overheard Lucin's sire talking about with the Inquisition, and those that are not staying at the hotel, he will have Lance text them.
Okay. I
That
think the only people who would have missed that would have been Damien and Amy. Amy being
Is
the
Amy
daughter.
the sheriff?
Mm-mm.
I will let them know, and then Lance will send the text to the other ones as a mass text
Mhm.
that says, beware the bearer of the cross when reaching the first city.
Okay. So, right. So he's taking care of getting that information out. Rufus is doing that investigation. What was the investigation role?
Uh, got another one in there again, so not very good.
Okay.
Maybe one success, maybe a
He doesn't.
botch.
He doesn't find anything particularly new or different than he had before. You at least get
That's
some
fine.
of the financial movings and how the Providence grew up from like this east side and downtown effect that's kind of separated by a river. He gets that kind of greater sense, but I don't know if there's too much more beyond that. And what did Grace? What did you want her to do after speaking with Rook for the Melissa speaks with Rook for a few moments and gets that taken care of?
Hmm. Well, since Arthur gave us a long list of places that could have been Elysium, correct?
Right.
Correct. So I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna try to look at it. I'm gonna try to research their nighttime operations, so to speak, and to see if any one of them are havens or really Elysium. So then I can. So
All right. Sure.
just
Go
to
ahead and
pick
roll.
out like a handful.
I understand. Go ahead and roll an intelligence plus investigation.
Okay.
With as this is happening, everyone will get a text from Raj asking for everyone to meet with Lucen because Warwick will be showing up soon. So Natalia gets the message twice in that way, but everyone else gets it.
Okay. Hopefully, I had slightly better luck.
Well, you were just looking over it to kind of get an idea of what's happening, and you pick out the same detail pretty initially, which is that a lot of these buildings have very late operating hours or have a lot of late night special events, which is what probably keyed in Arthur to thinking they were Elysium.
Hmm.
You know, and there are different places. Most of them are either art buildings or important business, prominent business buildings of that nature. But they all have consistently patterns of late night galas or events, or some of these museums just have really late hours for no good reason compared to other ones. So that's
If,
basically confirms kind of what Arthur's suspicions were.
if anybody asks him directly why he chose those places, he'll just smile at them indulgently and say, "My brain told me to."
Okay, so everyone will eventually gather at the Hyatt, and we'll meet in the conference room. I assume everyone who's there gets down there pretty fast, comparatively, and Natalia and Warwick are some of the last to show up. Does anyone want to say or do anything as everyone kind of gathered in that room? Amy is there, and Rook is there as well. Okay.
No, Rufus just waits.
So everyone just kind of waits patiently, and eventually Natalia and Warwick enter the Queen Mary conference room. They proceed to sit down. Warwick just hands a nice leather-bound pamphlet over to Lucen, who just unwinds it and begins looking over the information. Warwick will just kind of smile and kind of hold himself in a regal, kind of pleasant pose. He attempts to engage everyone in a bit of small talk, just like, good evening, that kind of thing, as Lucen looks over the information. As she finishes, she says, well, all right, this does look like all of the prominent members of prominence, all the officers of the court and their havens, and a fair amount of the havens residents. Is there something else that I should be aware of? Warwick as well, my lady Jessica, there does seem to be a bit of a problem. I have it on good authority that there is a bit of federal interest in Providence already. And she looks a little confused. And she's like, U.S. federal interest. They have sent some FBI special agents have been dispatched to the city. I am familiar with it. I've only dealt with Project Twilight a handful of times, but I'm pretty certain it is them. Lucen just kind of shakes her head. I have heard of them, because they're a bit difficult. You'll probably need to neutralize them in some way, shape, or form rather quickly. He goes, very well. Do you have any information on them? It's like, no, unfortunately, I just, some of my contacts had heard some of these special agents were being assigned to Providence. It's a bit of a joke within the Bureau. It's the only reason why I ended up hearing about it. She kind of nods and goes, well, thank you, Warwick. I appreciate it. And you have my favor for getting this information so quickly for us. He goes, oh, thank you, Lady Jessica. I certainly deeply appreciate that. And he bows very fluidly, deeply. I will be at your disposal if you need anything else, of course. But I have a suspicion that now that you have this information and it's verified, that I have overstayed my welcome. And I will give you all. And he will bow and leave with reasonable haste unless someone stops to say something to him.
I give him my
Rufus
thanks.
gives him a nod of thanks.
So Rufus gives him a nod of thanks. What did Natalia do?
I just said I give him my thanks before he leaves.
So he'll be polite in return, and will leave pretty quickly. Lucen will throw the information down on one of the tables and kind of gesture if anyone wants to look at it. She says, well, it's what we were looking for. It's the Primogen Council, it's the Prince, it's mostly officers of the court, and a fair amount of the populace of Providence. It has many of their havens and alternate havens on there. It should not be difficult for us to find them. So here's what we're going to do. Given that I don't need to speak with Servius, I will be leaving with you all to Providence. Once there, I know within a few nights there will be a court being held by Prince Castor. Who amongst us is able to bring others our kind to them against their will, if need be?
Hmm.
I am
I
able.
can.
Rook will kind of gesture. Is Natalia and the Rook, is that all of us that made you this?
Hmm.
Melissa, I believe you can do this, can you not?
Are you talking? Oh, Lucin's talking to Melissa.
She's talking to the room and now is now particularly talking to Melissa.
Yeah, and yes. For
Those
there's
individuals will need to go to the court and meet as many individuals as possible just to have a safety net. Otherwise, we're just going to take a temperature of the city itself, get an understanding of what needs to be taken care of, what needs to be resolved before we leave. The city itself is in a bit of a mess. Prince Castor has not taken very good care of his domain and has not been very mindful of what his citizens have been up to. We will likely have a fair amount of problems to deal with simply before even getting the cleaning done. That has very little to do with the court itself. Once we have a better idea of what that all looks like, we'll separate from there. But it does seem like Rook, Natalia, and Melissa will definitely need to be going to this court.
What?
Well, I mean,
also
the rest do
other
some other investigation work.
other character. Can Melissa get Priscilla to kind of sort of stake out take a look at their havens in the daytime? Take a look outside
Uh,
a bit.
okay.
Is that okay?
Lucen will. Okay.
Sort of like
She can.
scouting, sort of like casing the place.
Okay. I'm not sure what place you're referring to. Are you referring to the places you're going to be staying in Providence?
No, since we have the locations of the havens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to case the place. Ask Priscilla to case the place during the day.
Okay.
A bit.
Well, okay. Well, hang on. We're not talking about a place. We're talking about lots of different places.
Yes.
And she can go stake them all out, but then she'll be pretty involved with that since there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
That's
just
what
that
she'll do.
just to check if there's any ghoul guards, stuff
But
like that.
Sure, but that's what you'll do once you get to Providence, right? You haven't
Yep.
even left yet. Okay. So, as Lucian kind of finishes and no one seems to have any particular questions, she'll just say, please gather your retainers and servants and make preparations to leave. We will be heading to the airport within a few hours.
Well, I'll get ready. I'd like to take a look at just the data that's there from Warwick too. I would just take a look at it and make sure I'm familiarize myself with it as well.
Okay. Yep. You get a sense of the Camarilla Council within the city and the locations and whatnot. You can start taking a look at that.
Okay. And I'm ready to go when we're ready to go to the airport. So.
Okay. Does anyone have anything in particular they want to do before you all leave?
I really just make sure that we have all our stuff packed and are at least 1 hour early.
Okay.
Along with the list of the places that are potentially Elysiums, I'm gonna check up with their schedules to see if any of them would be would be open and have some kind of event and be semi-public. And take notice of it and see if they're just to see which places are where we can go hide in the crowd, so to speak, just in case.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you were trying to say there, Grace. Are you trying to say like you're trying to hide in the Elysiums? I'm not sure I understand.
Um, cause it's either that it could. What I'm trying to say is that since there's potentially since there's potentially hunters around, we'll need a crowd to hide in. Just hide in occasionally.
Okay. Well, sure, but let's deal with that as it comes about. I'm not sure how you're going to generate a crowd to randomly follow you around to be able to hide.
No, not follow around to
Okay, but
to,
that's
to
what
run
I
to and
understand,
hide
I
in.
understand what you're asking, Grace. But right now, there's no way for you to do that until you get to the situation to find a crowd, right? Otherwise, you'd be bringing a crowd with you. So it's a good thing to think about. Let's keep that in mind when it comes up. But it's something to deal with when we get to those scenes. Okay.
Okay, I'm just
It's a
saying
good.
that I'm planning this.
All right, it's a good idea, but let's hold those ideas for the scenes come up instead of delaying us moving forward in that way. Okay. So
Give me time to
everyone's
plan it
heading.
out.
Yeah, then that's good if that needs what you needed to remember. So the group heads out, gets their stuff all together and ready, and heads to the Boston International Airport. It is only the better part of an hour to get there from plane. Uh, it takes a few planes to get all of the security force and all of the members of the cadre to Providence itself. Uh, the flight inside, since it's all at night, no one has to be protected or anything like that, is rather calm. I assume everyone just kind of keeps to themselves and doesn't say much. The landing goes without too much trouble. You guys arrive in Providence. It's has a similar feel to Boston as you fly over it, although a little less grandeur. It doesn't have the sprawl that Boston has managed to acquire. It certainly hasn't had the money to. And everyone makes their departure from the private jets, and they seem to be taking you to a downtown, like a Marriott, that has a similar effect, being blanketed out for a conference and allowing the coterie to have full run of the place. With an arriving, you meet with Lucin within a few hours. Uh, the court is supposed to happen in a few days, so everyone has a few days to acclimate themselves to Providence. Uh, if they have any concerns or questions, they can speak with her. She's going to be keeping as low as profile as possible, as she's somewhat recognizable. Uh,
Once we get there, and we're, waiting a couple days before court, I'd like to make contact with the Nos that are there that Warwick has given me information for.
okay.
Rufus is going to try and contact some of his friends in Clan Bruja to see if there is anyone who would be willing to introduce him, but not as Rufus, as a more of a neonate.
Okay. What's Melissa doing?
Well, I did say what I wanted Priscilla to do, right?
Yep.
Hmm.
Okay, why don't you give it some more time? Jeremy, do you have anything you wanted to do as Arthur?
He's
You're still
muted, by the
muted.
way.
Apparently this one auto mutes too. Awesome. The first thing I'm going to do when I get to town is likely. We are following proper protocols and letting them know that we're there, right? We're kind of mingling with Elysium and whatnot.
No, you're about to kill them all. That would be a terrible idea.
Okay, I misunderstood from before where they were trying to mingle then. When we get there, then I will take a taxi to our place of operations, our base of operations, rather than drawing attention to myself by renting a car or anything like that. And I will pay with cash. Same with Lance.
Okay. So the intent was for you guys to go to court to meet everyone as much as possible in that one shot. That was at least the intent. If you are attempting to move around and just get a sense of the area and kind of, I guess, who these people are, that's not too much of a difficulty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
After we set up at the hotel or whatnot, I'll meet these guys and head to court.
What?
Okay. So Rufus is trying to contact the local bourgeois. Talia's trying to contact the local Nosferatu. And
Actually, I'm trying to contact non-local Bruja to see if they could introduce me to local Bruja as someone else.
okay. That, yeah, I'm not sure you're going to know pretty much
Anyone.
province, let alone someone who's passing through town so they can introduce you to somebody else.
Yeah, I thought that might be the case. I was trying to find someone who would maybe make a phone call and say, hey, this kid's in town.
Why don't we do the Nosferatu scene here real quick?
Cool.
Since that will either go poorly or, well, rather quickly. Natalia will head into the sewers, the details that were given to her by Warwick. And there's only a few Nosferatu in town. Bullfrog is the Nosferatu primogen, and the one you'd probably be meeting with.
Okay.
As somewhat expected, him without his mask on, he does have a resemblance of a bullfrog in that he's very, very bulbous and squat and down to the ground. His eyes are kind of moved over and a lot bigger and bulbous out. His mouth is kind of grim and thin-lipped. And he's just kind of waiting in a sewer drain junction for you. You're just meeting with him, right? Is that the idea?
Yes.
So there he is.
Bullfrog?
He just kind of narrows his eyes at you.
I'm Natalia.
Mm,
I'm here in town, and I wanted Warwick wanted me to introduce myself to you and get to know you in the city a little bit. I wondered if you'd chat with me.
kind of like opens up his mouth and kind of like closes it, opens it a couple times. About what?
Well, you have to know that there's been some disturbances here of late, and that there are questions, and we're here to find some answers. I am hoping that you'll be able to help me.
What kind of questions?
Questions like, who are these individuals, and why are they breaking the masquerade?
What?
Have you not heard of the masquerade breach? Were you not aware?
I'm aware of the breach. Yes.
Did no one think anyone would ask any questions about it?
From what I understand, Prince Castor's dealing with it.
I see. How's he dealing with it?
I don't know. How does any prince deal with these things?
I see. Well, I'm hoping you'd give me an introduction at court here in a few days.
We can do that.
And maybe help me know more about the current residents of the city. I'm not familiar with them.
Well, depends on who you're talking about, but I'm sure we can illuminate.
That would be very helpful. I would appreciate it. I'm particularly interested, and I give them the names of the people who were involved in the masquerade breach.
Well, that Prospero, whatever, Toreador kid, he hasn't been seen for a while. Noel's kid, what's her name? The one who fell, she's still walking around. I saw her the other night. What's her name?
Do they normally attend these court events?
Should be in attendance. Can't imagine why that wouldn't be.
I see. And did you say one of them hasn't been seen in quite some time?
That DJ, Toreador. I haven't been seen her for a while. But like I said, I saw Noelle Knox. That's the girl, the woman fell. I gotta find her name. I can't find it for whatever reason. She's the child of the Venture Primogen, and I saw her at Elysium just the other night, so I know she's just fine.
Let's see. What? Is there any recent events in the city that you'd like to share with me that I should know about? Other than this, it does seem to be the Toreador is missing. Have we heard anything from any of the other Toreador?
Well, the Prospero, his sire is the Tristan. He's the Toreador Primogen.
Let's see.
He hasn't really been saying or doing much of anything.
I see. And is there any sign of the prince punishing these children for the break in the Elysium?
No, he hasn't done much of anything just yet. It's pretty par for the course with him.
Let's see. Well, do you have more details where I might be able their favorite hangouts, where I might be able to find them?
Well, the DJ Prospero, he's got that Club Pulse. You might be able to find him there. I said I saw the Venture's child at the Elysium just the other day. That's Noel. I can't say I've seen the others.
Well, I appreciate it. I don't know that I have anything more to ask this guy at this point.
Okay. So is Natalia just going to leave? Is she just going to make pleasantries? Or what is she doing?
Well, he doesn't. He doesn't seem. I will wrap up the conversation with him and make arrangements to meet him the night of the court if I don't feel he's going to like volunteer any more information. And I seem to be kind of pulling this information out of him.
Right. Okay.
So that's what she would do.
Okay. All right. Well, she has the remainder of that conversation with Bullfrog. They make arrangements to meet before the court. That way, they can go in at the same time. It's in a few nights. Tells you the general time. It's held at an art gallery this particular night. They'll tell you where they come in and just be there roughly about an hour or so beforehand.
Okay, and I guess I would also ask him about any other locations they're using as Elysiums usually, because that would be helpful information as well.
Okay. He'll give you the list of the Elysiums in the city. There's only a few that don't actually correspond with the list that you have from Arthur.
Okay. Okay.
There's only a few that aren't on it.
All right, and later I'll share that with Arthur and the rest of the crew, that list that I've gotten. I guess I would also ask him. I had heard strange things about that building that they were at, and I would ask him about that building if they had noticed any strange occurrences in the city around that building, other than what had happened that night.
Nope.
Nope.
Nothing strange about it besides it's the tallest building in Providence in that way. It took a little bit to build, but there hasn't been anything strange about it in that way.
All right. And I do give him a gentle warning about, I hear there are a lot of dangerous elements coming to the city. He needs to be very careful.
Okay. So you give him that warning and part ways?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's see. You were doing that. Melissa was talking to people doing research.
And Melissa didn't decide what she was going to do, actually.
Okay. What were you doing?
So, out of all the list of Elysiums, is it only Pulse, the club, that's
This is not a list.
clumsy?
I may have said that before. If I did, I apologize. That was my confusion.
9. You have 9.
I don't ever recall if I had or hadn't, but it wouldn't be.
Yeah, back. That's break.
Is Paul? Melissa would try to change into a black, some party attire, and gonna see if she can go to Paul's if it's open.
Yeah, it's open.
And go dance just to see, and also scan the crowd for any vampire auras.
Okay. It'll be kind of hard to scan auras in a nightclub with lots of flashing lights, but you can try to find auras. You'll spend some time. Let me finish. You'll spend some time doing that. It will be difficult, and you won't have much success as the crowds and the lights and the low light of the club itself make it really difficult to try to scan across a crowd. It's easier to pick people right in front of you, and most of them are mortal. You do know that the DJ, who's named DJ Truth, is most certainly a vampire, and he is filling in for DJ Prospero these last few days is the main headlining DJ.
Okay.
Okay.
So that wasn't a complete waste of time. Good.
Okay. What is Rufus and Arthur doing again with the rest of this evening?
I don't really have anyone to rendezvous with, so I will since everybody else is gone, I will actually stick with Rufus and ask him if he needs a companion for his journeys.
Well, I haven't really figured out what my journeys are yet, but I'd be happy to have royalty with me. So,
Indeed.
So,
Um,
what misadventures are you two getting up to?
it's a good question. Yeah. I'm actually kind of curious about the Hellmouth, the Bank of America building.
Huh, that was the source of most of the, original upset, I suppose.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I kind of want to go see the site.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
I don't know what I'm looking for, but I want to go.
All right.
I want to examine it up close with my auspex as well.
Fair enough. The Bank of America building, it has that kind of bell top to it. Otherwise, it's not a altogether completely tall building. I want to say it only had 60 floors or 40 floors, but it's the tallest in Providence itself. The unique structure of it is that it has wings that are kind of jut out to the side. So there's a main pillar that goes up that is a bell tower, and then there's suites that kind of come off of the building itself in these kind of extended sides. So it's a lot of the lower floors have a lot more activity than the higher floors. As you get there, it is open. There's a fair amount of security there, and there seems to be a reasonable amount of traffic of business going on here. There seems a lot of night traders, I guess, or a lot of night businesses happening around this area as far as 24/7 businesses or companies that have presences in the U.S. that are in other countries. So there's a lot of night activity.
Does it look like people have to badge in, or are they just kind of like breezing through?
To get to the back elevators, you do need to badge in, but you could move around the lobby without too much trouble. You know, if you look like you're supposed to be there and standing around looking at a watch or something, the security guards might give you a couple second glances, but nothing too crazy. Going past the desk to get into the tower, that would be a problem.
I will take a moment to tame my Doc Emmett Brown hair a little bit and straighten my tie so I look like I should be there.
Sure.
As I'm still wearing a rather nice suit and a long coat.
Okay. So you guys clean yourselves up a little.
Yep, and I will walk right in.
Okay.
You know, I'll follow the king's lead into the lobby at least.
Okay. So, like I said, fair amount of night activity. A lot of the individuals here are dressed for a professional environment. So, a lot of people kind of milling in the lobby, talking, making arrangements to go out for dinner and whatnot. And Arthur just kind of walks up to the front desk.
I will scan the auras briefly of the people in here to find out who is a ghoul versus who is a mortal.
Go ahead and give me a roll on 2 lobby guys, at least. We'll just do those 2 real quick.
My book is not on this computer. It is Perception plus Empathy.
Yeah, difficulty 8.
Okay. Hey, but I can roll dice on this computer, so that's a good one. All right, and boom. Nice, 2 successes.
Oh, good.
Okay. They are both ghouls. They don't seem like, unlike Lance, who has a very strong presence of being a ghoul, is not as strong.
I will look whichever one of them is younger in the face, and I will tell him that we are expected on the upper floors and that we need passage, and I will dominate him to do that with level 2.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a roll.
That is manipulate plus intimidation? No. I have it on my other computer, one sec. it is.
It's manipulation plus leadership.
That's
The
what it is.
difficulty is going to be 6. Sound is back, brother. Okay. You say that to him. And the guy goes, all right. The other security guard goes, excuse me, what's your name? As the other guy's like just gonna let you pass. He goes, whoa, what's your name? What's going on? Who are you? As he grabs the list.
I will go ahead and tell him that my name doesn't matter, and I will dominate him as well.
Same thing, same role.
Okay.
Manipulation plus leadership. He goes, yeah, oh yeah, your name doesn't matter. And they give you a guest lanyard and you walk back.
I look back at Rufus and say, such is the privilege of royalty, and I keep walking.
I will walk like I'm with the king.
They kind of I'm sorry?
Is he muted again?
Yeah, Jeremy is. They don't give you a lanyard, but they don't really seem to acknowledge your presence going in with him at the same time.
Good enough.
Okay. So his guest lanyard led you over to the elevators. Where are you guys going?
Roof.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go up to the top. Takes you a few moments. Little elevator music.
I will offer him a pack of gum that I do not partake of myself.
Thank you for the offer, but I lost the taste for that.
I will put it back in my pocket.
I don't know that noise is Jeremy. I think that noise might be the cricket out here, by the way.
Oh, I was talking about something else. It was something.
Oh, okay.
Is it back?
No, it seems like it's gone. It was only gone. It was there for a second, but all of your noise went away, so we're good.
Okay.
You guys get to the roof access. It's what you would kind of expect: rows and rows of HVAC, exhausts, occasional water pipes, maybe a electric closet, and some fuses. You can see up and over where they were climbing. There seems to be another elevator to get you up higher that you did not come in. So
do we have access to it, or? Oh, go ahead.
No, this public elevator apparently doesn't have the same access all the way up.
Interesting.
Which is a little peculiar.
Are we able to use that elevator, or does it require some kind of keyed access?
No, there's probably like a service elevator or maybe a private elevator somewhere, but it wasn't certainly in the lobby.
Okay, yeah, so we just don't know where the door to that one is then.
But you're pretty close, so you can at least see where everything happened. You're about at the level where she would have fallen to. So you get a sense of, like, yeah, no human would have been able to probably make that fall. They would have been lucky. I mean, it's known to happen, but it's pretty much not going to happen.
Yeah, so, since we're here, Rufus will poke around with some heightened senses, maybe, spirits touch a few things where he thinks Alexis might have hit.
I will also investigate with my perception investigation. The investigation specialty is crime scenes.
Right.
See if there's anything that was missed.
Sure, go ahead and give me a perception plus investigation. The spirits touch boy, give me a perception plus empathy. Yeah. What was the original roll? You gotta clear those out because I can't tell.
Yeah, the original roll last time was 7 dice, so it's the 8, 2, 1, 3, 7, 5, 7, 9. So I definitely had a 1 takeaway, and then I got 3 successes if it's 7 or above.
Okay.
And I seem to be missing a die, so there's a mysterious 5th die I can't see. I don't know if you guys can.
I can't see anything. Does anyone see anybody? Does anything see?
No.
I actually don't see it, no.
Oh, wow.
No.
Yeah, it's not on my little thing, the bottom there. I rolled it. It doesn't seem to have shown up. Let me try again. Yeah, I'm getting the same thing. I seem to be having some technical difficulties here.
That's no good. How many dice do you have? 5?
6.
6? Okay.
Yeah, one of the dice in the middle seems to just disappear and then it doesn't show up.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I have had that happen to me before.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, as Rufus kind of moves around and starts touching stuff to see if he can get any kind of psychic impressions, we'll go with the general details. The one thing you would get, Arthur, is whoever made the video, right? The video and how that all went down. The person who did it, the Prospero, he would have had to have come from the top all the way down within seconds, and that's faster than most celerity that you've probably experienced or obfuscate. You know, he would have been up really high and down below, which is almost impossible to be in 2 different places at once. That's essentially what it was.
Have I
not to
seen
mention
Rufus?
the way it was executed. I'm sorry?
Okay. I was going to say, have I seen Rufus use celerity?
Yeah, I mean, you've seen celerity be used, and I mean, I'm just saying the distance to get to where he was in the video to where he was on top, it would have been faster than you've seen. Not to mention the way the building was laid out and how these little kind of extended wings kind of play out. This guy Prospero would have really had to premeditate where he would have pushed her off.
I've come to a conclusion, Sir Rufus. Either there was a second gunman, cameraman, if you will, or Prospero is faster than somebody of my sire's generation.
Hmm. That would prove troubling.
Yes, it would.
So you're
Or there's
touching stuff, Rufus.
Yep.
Touching. And at one point, when you touch a part of the building, you get an overwhelming sense of ennui. What's your willpower?
10.
We'll just say that you're fine. You're like, but I mean, he touches it and it's a structure that's more independent from the rest of it. So it would have been like the central tower.
Mm-hmm.
When you touched that, it was, and just like a spot that's hard to guess, but that one spot when you touched it, it was just a sense of ennui,
Interesting.
like overwhelming.
Yeah. You know, that just it. Just the ennui, the depression.
Let's see. Well, actually, yes. One other thing would be it's been here for a very long time, probably almost a century.
Oh. This building isn't that old, though, is it?
No. It's about, I want to say, 40 years too young.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll be watching him with some concern.
Yeah. Your Highness, this there's something not right over here.
I will go over and investigate it with my own aspects.
Okay. You get a similar impression, and you guys can kind of trace it around what seems to be the structural support beams of the central tower.
I will use Eyes of Chaos to see if I can define a pattern out of the madness.
Sure.
I will tell him, pardon me, no matter what you hear, please do not stake me.
Okay.
Okay, Eyes of Chaos. Perception plus Occult. Oh, those are very good dice pulls for me. Excellent. Okay. It was not so good a roll, but 869 for regular difficulty numbers.
You get to see that pattern up close and personal that he saw before, the black swirling chaos, and now it has that emotional connection of ennui. Uh, the 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 nature of it is ethereal and turbulent. So it was born of dreams and of anger, and the tower has been like a focal point for that energy.
Do we know if this was serving a financial purpose around the time of the Depression?
It was an old mansion at the time of the Depression. It was an old area for a mansion area, but it had some influential. It was an influential area, I guess would be the better way to describe it. But anything in particular beyond that would probably require more stuff. That's kind of the basic stuff you guys got from your 30s research, I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
I see that this was a place of great emotion, great emotional turbulence. In fact, I cannot see how far back, but it looks like it's rooted here, so it has to have been for quite some time.
It felt to me older than this current structure.
This was a posh part of town before, so it's possible that there was a tragedy that happened on site here that could have some kind of mystical significance.
Hmm. Do
Perhaps
you think it has something to do with the events that transpired here?
I think it's older than the events that transpired here.
I was wondering if it was perhaps a cause.
It could have influenced them, I believe. If they were sensitive to psychic emanations, like some of our kind are, and the Toreador are known for having the Auspex abilities. So yes,
Doesn't
I think that's
excuse the
possible.
behavior, but
No, they will die to a man, but at least now we have an explanation of sorts, somewhere to begin.
it's something that should be looked into to prevent future occurrences.
Would you like to try to climb the elevator shaft with me to reach the top?
Rufus looks up, thinks about it for a minute, and then says, "Sure. Think I can manage that."
I will go back into the elevator that we came in, and I will search around for the roof access panel on the top, probably past the drop ceiling of lights that they usually have.
Yeah, the elevator shaft itself does not go all the way up to the top.
Has the radio tower that she crashed into been rebuilt?
Not necessarily, no. It just seems like these public elevators don't have access to the all the way to the top. You could climb on the outside to the top, which is what I thought you were initially trying to do, but climbing on the inside from that elevator shaft won't be possible.
Then I will start climbing on the outside and hope I don't fall off, because that would hurt.
Yeah. I will try to follow him up.
All right, we got some free climbing vampires here.
I have a
Are
dexterity
they
of 4 and an
going
athletics
to
of
be
2.
seen?
Yeah.
Yeah, trying to, see
I
if
will
there was a.
obfuscate. Cloak the Gathering.
Okay, there you go. That problem is now officially solved. As
Yeah.
it is
Whoa,
thoroughly illuminated and lit up, which was one of the problems of the video, is that, look, there's no shadows anywhere. Everyone can see everything. So go ahead and give me either strength or dexterity plus athletics to climb.
I'm going to go ahead and pump my blood into this one.
Okay.
I will spend 4 blood points for my strength, bringing it to 8. I assume Rufus doesn't need to make any such adjustments.
No. No.
And he can spend a blood and he gets free successes, basically. So
Yeah, I'll spend the 1 blood to get the free successes, but other than that,
you gotta roll to see if you don't fuck it
All right.
up, though. You gotta at least do that.
Yay, no botch.
Yay, no botch.
That's strength plus athletics, by the way.
Okay.
all my dice showed up this time, but I don't see them visible for you guys right now.
Nope.
That's too bad. I actually rolled well for once, but
Maybe you can screen share.
yeah, I have 5 dice if someone else wants to throw them up for me
Sure.
for the strength. Then I don't think I can botch out my 6 successes from potence. So
No,
Unlikely.
Not. And what's your strength athletics?
strength. I don't actually have any athletics, so the strength is 5.
Fair enough. Yeah, so you it's nothing. You're just like practically lifting yourself up. There's no real effort.
Yep.
I assume when you're using your 6 potence though, it's not exactly masquerade friendly. I would point out, but it does get you up rather quickly.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay close to Arthur, but hoping to do as little damage as possible.
Yeah, I'm kind of slow, grabbing handholds here and there, and you're just monkeying up like Spider-Man, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, at one point, just for its own kind of sense of fun, you guys are making up, and you can tell that he's getting behind, so you just kind of grab him with your 6, and just kind of like, with one arm, and just start climbing with the other. It's not really... it just doesn't matter.
It works.
So you climb, you're just kind of like climbing up, that way you don't miss the cloak, and you don't lose the Malkavian. Would Arthur go along with that, or would he have to still go on his own?
Arthur would go along with that merely for the expedience of it, but then when they got to the top, he would say, "We will never speak of this."
as you wish.
So you get to the top, and you're up at the bell area where they were doing all the complex kind of flips and backflips and whatnot, and kind of pushing the limits of what humans can do. And you get a sense of the drop, and you even find the little area that he pushed. Alexia is her name, as I found it eventually. As Alexia is the Venture Primogen child there. It's the one who fell down. You get all of that area. Go ahead and give me a perception plus investigation, you both, to check out the area.
Excellent. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4 successes if it's 8 or above.
Yeah. I apologize for this, guys. I got a 4-year-old who's calling for a little bit of assistance upstairs.
Go for it.
I'll be right back.
No worries.
I got a die pool of 6 for the perception investigation too.
All right. Well, I guess that works out. You didn't see shit.
What?
That was a botch.
Yeah, it was a botch.
Oh no.
So, yeah, Captain 10 and 9 there. You find when you're moving around that area, you find a secret door. I don't know what else to call it. It's up in the bell area itself is what is a trap door. The grooves are along the concrete in such a way that you would have to find it and depress into it to pull it out. But with a 10 and a 9 and an 8, you find it.
Okay.
It's
I will.
Okay.
I'll activate it.
Okay. You push open. It lifts up and open. It's not very particularly heavy, but it is reasonably thick. Down and inside looks like a bedroom, like a Louis XVII bedroom. It's like out of the Elizabethan era. Nice big poster bed, elaborate mirror with sitting desk. Everything looks rather undisturbed, dusty in fact. No one's been here for a while.
What in the name of the weird is going on here?
It's a little
I
weird.
will, the weird, WYRD, of course, a Thurian reference. I will go ahead and climb down into the bedroom.
Okay.
and begin exploring.
It's out of. It's like out of a fantasy novel. How accurate the props are. I mean, it almost feels that way as every bit of it is from that era, from that probably late 1400s ish. So everything as far as um, the the jewelry box, the jewels itself, the mirror. There's a brush. All of it is very ornate in gold and in that kind of style of that era. The paintings that are in along the walls are from that era. There's maybe a sculpture or two. As far as information in the place itself, there's no books. There doesn't seem to be any pieces of paper, nothing to identify anything within the room itself.
What I will do is search for two things. I will search for anything that has been recently handled by, based on what is not as dusty as the rest, if there's a thinner film of dust on anything. And I will also search for footprints in the dust on the floor, if such exists, to see if anybody has recently passed through here, like I suspect that Prospero has.
Okay. No to all of those. You're the only one who's the dust that's in here. You can tell you're the first one to disturb it. It's only a light dust though, so it's not particularly long. Seth, what Arthur
I'll be right
found
back
was
myself.
okay. Well, he found a secret door. In it, he like on top of the bell area. He was looking around that particular area. He found some grooves in the cement. He pushed it open, and in underneath that bell, on top of that tower, is a small room that looks like it's out of the 14th century. Like it's a very with a 14th feel to it. So a very elaborate four-post bed that's gaudy. It has all sorts of jewels and gold about it. A sitting desk and a mirror accompanied with beautification befitting that of both genders.
Mm-hmm.
There's artwork of that time period, and Arthur just seems to be wandering around the room trying to find anything else.
Yeah, I'm going to follow Arthur's lead on that and just kind of look around and see if I can figure out whose room it is. Though I probably already have some suspicions and bias on that.
There is no papers or books to give any identification.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like some more out of a storybook than it seems something that was real, like something that was artificially created.
Yep.
If we spirits touch one of the items in here, I will attempt to do so without losing my mind more.
Uh-oh, sounds back. No. Go ahead and give me a perception plus empathy for your spirit touch. If anyone's, I assume Rufus is spirit touch in a way.
Yeah, he'll probably give that a try after mundane investigation fails him. Let's see if even if I close this stream and start it open again.
I did not roll too spectacularly, a 7 and a 6.
I don't think that cuts it, unfortunately. Yeah, that's great. What did you get, Seth?
I'm actually waiting for a dice stream to open. So 6 dice if someone wants to just throw that up for me.
So, yeah, with the 8s, you managed to get an impression. The ennui is especially strong here. It's hard to say if it's the centralized point of it, but it is especially strong in this room.
Hmm.
and the activity in the room has been minimal. Like there has been some recent coming and going of a presence that should be here, is what you get from the impression. But
Yeah.
it's so cloaked in mystery and shadow that you can't really tell who it is. It's a little peculiar.
It's interesting.
How much
Something.
kindred lore does he have? How much kindred lore does he have?
Kindred lore. I don't.
Does he have any kindred lore?
No, he has 2 dots in occult and 2 in Sabbat lore.
I have 2 in Kindred Lore, though.
But he's sharing pretty freely with Arthur when he finds things. So
It could be obfuscate. Arthur's probably run into that once or twice before when someone's had a fair amount of obfuscate when his spirits touch something, that could be the problem.
It could be an elder, I would imagine, from the age of the pieces here, but the relatively decent condition of them. It doesn't look like a collection. It looks like items they've actually owned, I would say. And that could be an elder of my clan or of the Nosferatu. Both are relatively well known for having obfuscate, of course. You know, or an Assamite, but I highly doubt that's the case here.
let us hope you're correct on that.
Let us pray I'm correct on that.
Yes. This is truly an odd room that does not belong with the rest of the building.
I will, go ahead.
Does it look like someone, had this built into the building, or they just had access to the building and created it themselves?
Your guys' experience in such things is probably reasonably limited, but
Yeah, that's
given
true.
the way it's situated in the building, whoever built it would have had to have a fair amount of influence over the way this place was constructed or how it's handled.
Yeah.
Is there any point of egress from this room other than the ladder back up? Any
No.
doors that lead out?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I will take out my cellular device and begin fiddling with it till I activate the camera, and then I will take pictures of the various points of the room and try and cover all of them.
Okay. You go through that process.
And then I will send them to Lance and tell him to see if he can get any information on who was the architect of this building and whatnot.
Okay. All right. So you guys will get to that. Are you guys going to stick around for any more, or are you going to head on back down the building?
Probably best we exit.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else to do.
Okay. So you close that on up. Is it the same process as before, or is the king taking his time?
How far down is the jump?
It's like 40, 30, 40 floors.
You're damn right the king's taking his time.
Yeah.
All right. So, Rufus, you'll have to go a little slower this time, but you guys make it back down to the elevator where you guys came in and managed to get out of the tower without too much trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Is there something Melissa or Natalia would like to do after that particular scene before we wrap things up?
No.
More feeding.
More feeding?
More feeding if I think I can get away with it in the club.
Yeah, that's probably not too difficult. We'll say you can get the 2 for right now, just to expedite things at the end here.
Okay.
All right. Well, given the fact that we'll be moving into a big port session and getting into the actual genocide, we'll probably just stop here for right now.
Okay.
Everyone can take 3 experience points for the evening.
Okey-doke.
Okay. Awesome.
Does anyone have any particular questions? Otherwise, I guess we'll shoot for the 9th. Is that working for everybody?
That's the night I can't make it, babe.
I thought it was
What?
during the day. Is it at night? I thought it was during the day. My mistake. So we'll shoot for. We either do the 2nd or the 16th. Does anyone have a preference?
It doesn't matter to me, although it should be known that I will not be available on the 30th, as I will be at Dragon Con.
All right, fair enough.
16th, I think, looks good for me right now.
Okay.
I don't think I have anything on the 2nd either.
If we did the 2nd, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm free the 2nd.
You go with the 2nd.
I'm good with the 2nd.
Right,
Yeah.
If we do the 2nd and the 16th, then we'll get 2 within August. Otherwise, we'd only get the 1. All
right, cool.
The 30th. So we'll shoot for that. It was great seeing everybody. We'll meet, looks like the 2nd of August, same bad time, same back title. So that's next week for everybody.
Yep.
If you have any questions, concerns, by all means, shoot me an email. But if we'll do this, in fact, there'll be a couple days before the court. This is probably the best time to have any downtime. If you want to do any kind of planning or talk to any other characters, or you want to just get some other information from NPCs, feel free to hit me up or do some role playing. We'll say you have a couple days before the court for the next session.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, just as a interesting aside, the 4-year-old who was screaming, that's his name's Arthur, and he complains when I call him the King of the Britons. So.
Nice. That's awesome.
So.
He complains about being called King of the Britons?
He does. He hates it. He says, "No, Daddy, I'm just Artie."
That's great. It's like very humble 3-year-old.
Yeah.
I would have been a 3-year-old and been like, I'm king, what are you talking about? All right. Well, again, it was great seeing everybody. We'll get back in the swing of things with some better momentum with the next 2 sessions, and we'll see everybody next week on the 2nd.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.